You noticed it before the doctors did. Something about them was different. Maybe they're forgetting things that they never forgot before, or getting frustrated in ways they never did. Sleeping through the day when they used to be the first one in, and the hospital told you that the CT scan was normal. So why doesn't anything feel normal? I am Asthana from Caldwell, Wenzel, and Asthana personal injury lawyers. And if someone you love was in a crash and something feels off, even if the scans were clean, this video is for you. Here is something insurance companies do not want you to know. A normal CT scan, well, it does not rule out a traumatic brain injury. According to Oxford University research, 20% of the people involved in a motor vehicle crash have a traumatic brain injury, and over 75% of those are a mild TBI, traumatic brain injury, the kind that do not show up on a standard CT scan. That's not a technicality. That's exactly how these injuries work. CT scans are designed to find brain bleeds. That's it. They're not designed to find the kind of brain injuries most crash victims actually have. In the past, mild TBIs went undiagnosed because the tools to find them didn't exist, but they do exist now. That's why when a family calls us, we know exactly what to look for, even before an MRI is ordered. We have learned to identify these cases on the initial call. That's right, on your first call with us. From the combination of symptoms and the crash mechanism itself. The symptoms that matter most tend to appear within days or weeks after the crash, not just at the scene of the accident. Things like persistent headaches, sleep problems, fatigue that doesn't make any sense, irritability, difficulty concentrating, and sensitivity to light. When those line up with the right crash mechanism, we can identify a likely brain injury. However, there is nothing mild about what these families go through. Studies show that after a mild TBI, up to 90% of people develop persistent headaches. Up to 50% of the people develop depression in the first year. Up to 50% develop an anxiety disorder, and up to 30% develop PTSD. These are not soft numbers. They come from peer-reviewed medical literature. The person you knew can look completely normal on the outside, walk normally, talk normally, even go back to work. And that person could still be struggling with memory and processing speed. And emotional regulation, things that are invisible to everyone except for the person that knows them best. That's why these cases are so difficult and so important to get right. So when a family calls us after a crash, we're asking different questions from what other lawyers may ask. We're asking questions like, did you hit your head? Did the airbags go off? Or was there significant property damage to the vehicle? We're also asking about symptoms, not the ones that appear at the time of the crash, but also the ones that appear days and weeks after. Things like headaches that did not exist before, dizziness, nausea, or sleep problems. Fatigue that does not make sense, like falling asleep at their desk when they could run through a 14-hour day without stopping. Feeling foggy, taking longer to think through things, something that was automatic before. Difficulty reading and sensitivity to loud noises or light. We're asking about the crash details, because the combination of the symptoms and the mechanisms of the injury is how we identify these cases on our first call. When you file a TBI claim, well, the insurance company is going to fight it and fight it hard. They're going to point to that normal CT scan. They're going to say, well, you didn't lose consciousness. They're going to question whether these symptoms are even from the crash at all. Or they're going to point that they were from something else, like a pre-existing condition or stress from your job or just getting older. These are not good faith arguments. These are tactics they use to make sure you get as little as possible from a very strong case. And that's because the lifetime cost of a serious brain injury can go into the millions. And the insurance companies, they know that. What changes this dynamic is having a legal team that has worked these cases, knows the medicine, and understands how to document these injuries in a certain way that the insurance companies cannot just explain away. If you or someone you love was in a crash and you suspect a traumatic brain injury, get evaluated even if you feel okay. TBI symptoms are often delayed by hours or days. Tell every doctor you visit about every symptom you experience, including the ones that seem unrelated. Headaches, fatigue, sleep problems, irritability, all of it needs to be in that medical record. Do not give a recorded statement to the at-fault driver's insurance company without first speaking with a personal injury attorney. In Alabama specifically, one misstep on a recorded statement can gut your case completely. Do not accept an early settlement offer before the full extent of your injuries are known. TBI recovery takes time. Settling in week 3 can leave a family without any resources for something they may have to cover financially 3 years from now. And don't post anything on social media regarding your injuries or the accident while this claim is open. At Caldwell, Wenzel, and Asthana, we take TBI cases very seriously because we know exactly what's at stake. We investigate quickly before evidence disappears or memories fade. We work with medical experts who know how to document and relate these injuries to the accident. We build a damages picture that accounts not just for what your family has already gone through and lost, but for future losses, like future care, earning capacity, or quality of life. We handle all communications with the insurance company so that our clients are protected. And if the insurance company does not make a fair offer for you, we're ready to go to trial. Our clients pay nothing unless we recover for them. If you or someone you loved suffered a brain injury in Alabama, Florida, or Mississippi, and something does not feel right, please do not wait. Call us for a free case evaluation. There is no fee unless we recover, and we look forward to working for you.